fake Selmers. Alright, now we already know that we have wonderful artists like Candy Dulfer and Maceo Parker and David Sanborn who play Selmer. So Selmers have to be quite the instrument. And I would understand if a company would want to copy the Selmer name. But you don't want to buy a fake Selmer. The reason being is even though it says Selmer on it, it's not going to perform like a Selmer. It's not going to have the heart and soul of a Selmer instrument. The thing about Selmers is that Selmer has been making saxophones since the early 1900s, even maybe earlier. And the thing about Selmer is they were like one of the first companies to have the saxophone brand to actually have saxophones in their name. If you go back to one of my videos about a brief history on saxophones, the first free lesson of saxophones I have, they basically talk about how Selmer took over the saxophone patent and had license to make the saxophone. So needless to say, they have years of experience. They're basically a monopoly, and they have the name for the style of instrument they have. I mean, they have various altos and tenors. I think maybe baries. Yeah, I think they have baries, and they also have sopranos, maybe. Yeah, and they have various lacquers and different styles of that saxophone, and they make them at a premium, a really good level. It's like they're like the number one saxophone to look for nowadays. So when you look out there for maybe a Selmer or an intermediate beginner model, Bundy Selmer, whatever has the Selmer name on it, make sure that it's real. And you can go to the Selmer Facebook page to find out if your Selmer is real or not. Because on all Selmers they have the Selmer logo, whether it be engraved. Most of them, I think all of them are engraved actually into the saxophone. Now, if you get a fake Selmer, it'll be like a little artwork on the side that actually is not engraved on the horn that says Selmer on it. Make sure all Selmers that you get that are USA brand are made in USA, and the ones you have from Paris are made in Paris. Okay, so don't have a Selmer Paris and then be made in Mexico. And the same thing goes for Con. Don't have a Con that you want the original one with all the original glories of the basic Con instrument back in the 90s, early 90s, not 90s, but 1900s, and you get a Con that's from Mexico, because that's not the Con that you want. So just be sure you find the brand that you want, and once you find that brand, go to town on it. Have fun with your instruments, but watch out for these fake Selmers. I've seen a couple of instruments that just are iffy, but fake Selmers, then that's low. Now, if anybody was a monopoly in the instrument making company for saxophones, it would be Selmer. So, I mean, not to say that's a bad thing. I mean, I love Selmers, but don't get a fake one, because if you get a fake one and you expect to sound good and you don't sound good, and it's like you just don't want it. You just don't want it. Okay, and I have to respond to somebody who asked me a couple of questions about my video on the Selmer Lavoie 2. The Selmer Lavoie 2 is a wonderful instrument. Yes, it could be considered higher than a beginner level. So just make sure you watch out for that, you guys. Other than that, guys, the Selmer Lavoie 2 is a really good Selmer saxophone. But if you want to see what these fake Selmers look like, the fake Selmers actually are posted on the website, the Facebook website for Selmer. So if you look up Selmer on Facebook, they'll show you all the pictures of the fakes, and they'll show you all the pictures of the ones you just don't want to have because they're not made by the company. So with that being said, Selmer is a really good brand. I love Selmers. I love them to death. One of my first saxophones was a Selmer, and yeah. So go ahead and get you a Selmer. Make sure you have a real one. Now, one rule of thumb: Selmers are expensive. One of the most expensive instruments on the planet right now. So make sure you get a good one. And most likely, if you get a fake Selmer, it's not going to be real, and it's not going to be expensive. So watch out, because I know online is probably making a big heaping out of this fake Selmer scandal. So watch out for that. But if any point in time you get to support the true company, Selmer's a good instrument. Candy Dulfer plays it. I love Candy Dulfer. They play Selmer's. Even though I love Cannonball, I love Selmer's too. So, all right, you guys. Have a nice day.